Good morning, dear friends of Spirituality and Practice. This is Dr. Jonathan Ellerby. I am the Executive Director here, and I have kind of an exciting morning to share with you, whether you're joining me live or later in a recording. I'm coming to you from Claremont, California, where we have our home office, the extraordinary library of Spirituality and Practice, the home of Frederick and Marianne Bressett. And this morning, just 30 minutes before coming live to you, the power has gone out. All the electricity in the area of my home office, and even in fact where our main office is, the power is out. And not only that, but the internet service provider is also down. And that will be for another 3 hours. So I'm coming to you via my telephone and satellites and all that cosmic wonder. But the reason why I'm telling you this is because there's a certain irony that does not escape me, which is that today's theme is meaning. Now, as we head into the holiday season, the darkening days of solstice and the end of the year, our Wednesday reflections are going to center around themes that relate to this time of year and things that come to people's hearts and minds. In particular, we want to pull out some of these important alphabet qualities from the spiritual literacy work, and meaning is one of them. When we face times of uncertainty, mystery, and darkness, immediately we search for meaning, to feel comfort, to feel a sense of security. And isn't it curious that on this day, where my intention was to talk to you about how it's so important to seek meaning in every and any moment, to affirm the very basic principle of spiritual literacy, which is that there is meaning everywhere and that life is a spiritual experience. Here I am facing the unexpected and the challenging. So I'm excited to do that live. Unfortunately, it does mean that I was unable to print out some of the really beautiful teachings and quotations that we have on our website that I had planned to share with you this morning. So instead, I want to take my next step by inviting you into a moment of reflection. We're going to close our eyes. We're going to do some deep breathing. And I have a poem that I would love to read to you. And then reflect a little further on meaning. And then, of course, share our updates with you and make sure you know of all the good things that are coming up. So with that, wherever you are, unless you're driving, I'm going to invite you to sit comfortably, to be alert, and close your eyes. Once your eyes are closed, I'd like you to try a little breathing technique with me. We're going to take 3 quick breaths in, and then a long exhale. And we'll do that again. Let's do it a few more times. Each time the breaths in are quicker and fuller. Maybe a couple more times. And now let yourself settle into the soft, natural rhythm of your breath. Slowly in through the nose, and as you breathe out, feel your body soften, shoulders drop, muscles in your face relax. And pay attention to the stillness that's growing within you and around you. And I'd like to invite you in this moment just to hold and consider the meaning of this holiday season that we're entering, this season of coolness and darkness and going in. But as you hold this contemplation, I'm going to invite you to sit with it just a moment longer and look just a little deeper. So when you ask yourself, what does this December mean for me? Or whenever you're listening to this, what does this month mean for me? Notice the first answer that comes from your mind, but then look a little deeper. Is there something behind that? Is there an invitation from Spirit? Is there a lesson that you can anticipate or appreciate? Is there an opportunity for knowing yourself or some aspect of your life in a new way? When we move deeper into the contemplation of meaning in our lives, we discover that the deepest meaning is never what we think. That thinking is only a kind of key that opens a door to a knowing that lives in the heart. And with your breath soft and regular, your eyes still closed, I share this beautiful passage by the great German poet and philosopher Goethe. He writes, "Tell a wise person, or else keep silent, for those who do not understand will mock it right away. I praise what is truly alive, what longs to be burned to death. And so long as you have not experienced this, to die and so to grow, you are only a troubled guest on the dark earth." And if you'd like, you can open your eyes now. What does this poem mean for us as we consider the darkness of this season and the meaning that we seek? Well, Goethe was kind of a fierce teacher, wasn't he, if you know him? And I believe that what he suggests is that whatever meaning we have ascribed to life, or whatever meaning life has given us, meaning our culture, our family, our context, I believe he invites us to, in his language, die to those assumptions of meaning. He invites us to let them go and to consider that there is deeper meaning, that there is more to who we are, to what we are, and the situation before us. This is the kind of meaning that, as I shared before, thinking only opens the door to, but contemplation, quietness, reflection, feeling brings us to its fullness. These other ways of knowing, these other ways of acquiring meaning become so significant. And truly, I would say at this time of year, this is the kind of meaning making that we are being invited to. It's not the busy figuring it out kind of meaning, but it's the more internal, slower, reflective, sitting by the fire, walking through a field of snow, looking out at a quiet city street with the haze of the lamplight, the street lights. It's that sort of reflective time in which we find that meaning arises. And really, this deeper way of relating to the ordinary is the very heart of spiritual literacy. It's to read the world as a sacred text, to understand that the presence of God and Spirit is within all things, and thus wisdom and meaning are everywhere. And so as we acquire the qualities of spiritual literacy, whether that's hope or devotion, whether it's playfulness or meaning itself, what we realize is that we don't need to make meaning for ourselves intellectually. We can receive it. And really, in the kind of language of Frederick and Marianne, we can read it spread out in the world upon us. The coincidences, the synchronicities, the unexpected events, the time where you thought your internet would definitely be working and it wasn't, the holiday event you were sure you were going to go to but couldn't, the gift that you hoped you were going to get but didn't. All these things are, I suppose, as they say in the Zen tradition, fingers pointing to the moon. They're little callings, little cues that there is a deeper meaning afoot. And it's not something you expected, because this is life's meaning for you. So I would love to support my message with illustrations from the incredible section of our website that's all about meaning. And if you know our site, then of course you can go into spiritual practices and look up meaning under spiritual literacy, but I can't do that right now. So you'll have to do it for me. What I'd like to do now, though, is illustrate the presence of meaning in all things differently. I did happen to actually print out, remarkably, last night before the power and internet went out, a copy of our very own homepage. And there's some things that we have recently posted that I would love to bring your attention to. And for me, what they illustrate is the presence of meaning in all things. So first of all, we have an incredible new film review for the movie I'm Your Man. It is available streaming. I believe you have to rent it at this point, but it's called I'm Your Man. And it's a fascinating, it's not a new concept for a film, but it's a fascinating study of relationship and consciousness and love. It's about a woman and her robot. And I don't want to say too much because I think there's a lot of surprise, but let's just say the robot is I think a fairly handsome man, and he's her companion. And so it invites a lot of reflection on meaning and where does it come from and what is real and what is not real. And perhaps can we ever doubt what the heart feels, regardless of what inspires it? I think there's a lot there. We are also celebrating some great teachers of meaning in the world, the birthday of Harry Chapin. And there's a wonderful reflection on Harry Chapin you'll find linked on our homepage. And also a really clever and a beautiful prayer of thanksgiving for Stephen Sondheim. And many of you know Micah, one of our beloved film reviewers and the author of Tiny Prayers. He does just a wonderful job with this tribute because he actually uses some of the lyrics of Stephen Sondheim to write this prayer. So I invite you to check that out. We also have our spiritually literate holiday gifts. Now, if you click on that, you'll see a whole list of suggestions of ways you can give to others that will invite them to explore and to experience meaning in their own life. So we see that meaning can be found in music, meaning can be found in gift giving, meaning can be found in film with robots. I mean, really, it's kind of all over the map. Now, we also are celebrating 2 new books, and one, again, I wasn't able to print these things out, but there's a book by Brene Brown, and I believe it's called An Atlas of the Heart. And of course, she's just a wonderful teacher, and she seems to know exactly what we're all worrying about and wanting to know more about. It's a beautiful contribution to spiritual psychology and emotional intelligence. Wonderful review. Please check out that book. And then we also have a 365 days of Celtic prayers and blessings. And it's also a wonderful contribution to, I'd say, anyone's library who's interested in a spirituality that's more closely connected to the earth, to nature, to ritual, to ceremony, and to that enduring connection to the spirit of the world and the spirit world. So we have some wonderful books there for you to review as well. I would also love to mention that for those of you that are in places where we are seeing COVID resurgence and increased discussion and debate and uncertainty around new variants and old variants coming back, our spiritual resources for the COVID-19 pandemic link is up. And once again, you will find that even in these strange times, and as we face social division and differences of health opinions and this pandemic that is challenging so many of us, there's still an invitation for meaning and how we can find peace and enrichment even when we face such uncertainties. The final things perhaps that I can share, some big things coming up. So many of you have heard that we are now offering our first certificate in spiritual literacy. This is going to begin in March. We previously did post a January start date. In case this is confusing to you, it is now March. We found that we got some feedback from our students. People want more time to get ready to be able to make this commitment. It is a 9-month commitment, 2 years running. So we have a level 1, which is an immersion in the study of finding meaning in every way and every day of life. And then the second level, another 9-month study, and that is to become not only proficient at applying spiritual literacy in the important moments of your life, but to really be a facilitator to help bring the gifts of spiritual literacy to others in your life, whether it's friends or family, or even perhaps in your profession. So please check out our spiritual literacy certificate program. It will be something truly extraordinary, a great experience of community, because you'll be in small groups exploring the work, and also a great experience of some wonderful teachers and the abundance of resources on the website. Last but not least, I would like to tell you to please save the date, December 30th at 6 p.m. Pacific time. We will be broadcasting live, a live premiere, Illuminating Hope, a transformational online gala. And this will be an interview series. I will be interviewing 9 extraordinary personalities, fantastic teachers, including our very own Marianne Bressett, but as well luminaries like Parker Palmer, Joan Halifax, Mark Nepo. I could go on, but I'm going to invite you to stay tuned. You're going to see our posting come up Friday. We'll send you an email about it. It'll be on our website. This is really a part of our year-end giving campaign. A lot of you give to us in the final days of the year. And what we'd like to do this year as a way to say thank you is to give you this as a gift in return. So really the ticket price is your choice. You'll see that on the landing page when it's up on Friday. But what you get is more than 2 hours of some extraordinary, highly focused and deeply meaningful interviews with some really incredible people. Again, Joyce Rupp, Joseph Marshall III. I could go on. It's going to be something special, so please save the date. Well, on that note, I believe we're running out of time, so I want to say thank you. Thank you for being with me today. Thank you for being with me for this message. And I hope that you take our message of the day, our insight of the day to heart. The idea, the experience, the practice that we can all find meaning in any moment, even the most despairing, even the most disconnected. If God, Spirit, is everywhere and the source and substance of all things, then truly each day can be an adventure in spiritual literacy. Each day can be a practice of reading the sacred in the little things, in the surprising moments, and in each situation we encounter. With that, from all of us at Spirituality in Practice, I offer our thanks and our blessings and wish you a beautiful day.